Hi, I'm Kirti Sehrawat and this is Sourcing from India podcast. I help business owners source amazing products from India without the guesswork and overwhelm so they can launch and grow their e-commerce business. Over the past 20 years, I've been into import and export business and have seen behind the scenes of product manufacturing as well as sourced hundreds of products. I've been on both sides of the business, whether it's clothing, accessories or homewares. I've had hands-on experience with it all. I have discovered what it really takes to successfully source products, what works and more importantly, what doesn't, and the costly mistakes that one could avoid. How to turn that great product idea into a tangible reality easily, effectively and profitably, and what sourcing strategies will help you not only find the best suppliers in India, but also go through the sourcing process as smoothly as possible. This is what the podcast is all about. Whether you're just starting out or looking to diversify your sourcing to India, you are in the right spot. I'm here to help you create the business you've always wanted by sourcing amazing products from India. Let's get started. Hey productpreneurs, welcome to the brand new Sourcing from India podcast. I am so excited about our very first episode because we are diving into something that's been on a lot of people's radar lately, which is sourcing products from India. In today's episode, I will share insights and overview on various aspects of sourcing products from India. From discussing how sourcing from India could be a great decision for your business, what products you can source from there, plus I'll be sharing tips on how you can get started. Now, if you're someone running a private label e-commerce business, you've probably spent a ton of time exploring China. Maybe a lot of you have been sourcing from China for years, or maybe you're relying on local suppliers. And I get it. China is huge. It has dominated the sourcing market for a long time. It's been the default for years. But what's really interesting is that India is quietly emerging as an incredible alternative. So, all right, let's just start with the fundamental question, why consider sourcing from India in the first place? Now, here's the thing about India. It's not China. That might sound obvious, but I want you to really understand that. Unlike China, where you can find literally anything, India is more of a specialist market. What India offers is a huge opportunity for unique products, beautiful craftsmanship, and materials that carry real value and stories behind them. India is home to thousands of artisan-made products that can be sold at higher prices with better margins, all while supporting skilled artisan communities. You can create strong brand stories, something mass-produced goods from China just don't offer. Have you ever seen brands proudly showcasing Chinese factory workers? Probably not. But Indian artisans, made in India products, brands across the world use them for marketing to stand out in the crowded marketplace. And that's what I feel is the real edge of sourcing from India. Now just imagine you're selling jute products that have been made by an artisan whose family has been doing this for generations. Jute is incredibly sustainable, golden fiber, and India produces like 75% of jute products in the world. So not only are you offering something that's handmade, it's also sustainable and has a great backstory. Now you're also tapping into this growing demand for eco-conscious products. And if you're now probably wondering, what can I actually source from India? So just think about products that are handmade or natural. India is a hub of natural resources. There's a very strong production base for various natural fibers and materials. And this direct access to raw material gives it a huge advantage because products can be made at competitive prices. India is the largest producer of cotton in the world. So things like cotton textiles, apparel, home furnishings are best sourced from India. Then there's all types of value-added products, hand-done embroideries, surface embellishment, luxury textiles, with different regions in India specializing in different artistic techniques. There's hand-dyed, hand-printed textiles, recycled, upcycle furnishings. Then there's home furnishing like hand-woven cushion covers, throws, hand-knotted, hand-woven rugs. In fact, India is the largest exporter of handmade carpets globally. Then you've also got home decor and furniture made of wood and metal that have this artisanal look, which is very different from mass-produced products. India also has some of the best leather goods. India is like the second largest producer of leather, footwear and garments. And if you're into sustainable products, there are tons of products that are made from eco-friendly materials like organic cotton, hemp, linen, and other eco-friendly materials like sabai grass, banana bark fiber, there's cork, coconut fiber, there's PET products, recycled plastic products, palm tree leaves, and then there are so many innovative materials coming up as well like eco felt, eco leather, and many more. India is also a great place to source all types of jewelry and fashion accessories. India's gems and jewelry sector is the largest in the world. It has a very, very extensive collection of precious and semi-precious jewelry. You can find all types of traditional, ethnic, contemporary imitation pieces. And then there's always metaphysical gems. There's tea, spices, herbal, Ayurvedic, organic, health, beauty and wellness products. All these categories that are practically synonymous with India. Now, when you're sourcing products from India, keep in mind that each region in India specializes in specific products. So you need to know and understand the regions where your product is king, where it is manufactured, where skilled labor is available, where you can find the best quality and price. For example, Jodhpur is the furniture hub. And then in Uttar Pradesh, in Saharanpur, you have wood carving artisans. Moradabad is the metal product hub. So you've got all different regions in India specializing in various products, and this is one thing you should know when you venture into sourcing products from India. Another advantage of sourcing products from India is small order quantities. Now, if you've sourced from China, you know how it goes. MOQs are quite high. But in India, many suppliers are happy to work with orders as small as 100 or 200 pieces, or they can be even as low as 50 units, with an exception of home textiles or clothing products where you have a technical constraint. Now, they are more flexible because the products are handmade, and instead of minimum order quantities, they might just give you a minimum order value. So let's say minimum order value is $5,000. For example, you can mix and match different products to hit that amount. You can test a variety of products. You don't need to tie up all your capital in one specific product or one SKU. Now let's talk about the best ways to actually find and connect with manufacturers and exporters in India. And maybe you're wondering, is there an Alibaba for India? Well, not really. There is no single platform to find suppliers in India. It is a bit more fragmented, which is why knowing the best methods is very important. When you try to Google Indian suppliers, IndiaMart or Trade India is what comes up most of the time. And a lot of people think that these are Alibaba alternatives in India, when actually these websites have a lot of suppliers supplying to the domestic market who are not really aware of the export procedures and quality standards, and many of them are even middlemen. They are not manufacturers. Now, to find export-focused suppliers, I recommend looking up global sources, and you can check out Alibaba as well. Use the filters as India manufacturers, and then you'll be able to see the list. But Indian suppliers listed there are limited. A lot of Indian exporters are not even on it. So as for me, the absolute best way to source any kind of home decor products from India is by attending trade fairs. These events bring together top manufacturers, exporters under one roof. And what I really love about attending trade shows is that it gives you the opportunity to see the products up close. You can spot latest trends, meet the suppliers face to face, get answers to any questions that you may have on the spot, and it builds trust. They meet you, you meet them, and There's trust building, and later on when you interact with them, they remember you. So that's a great way to get started when you're sourcing products. And no matter which product you're sourcing, there are a lot of trade fairs that happen in India, and that's a huge participation of buyers across the globe. For example, Delhi Fair for home products, then there's IIGF for clothing, there's Indian Fashion Jewelry and Accessory Show, and ton of others. Then Indian suppliers also participate in international trade fairs that happen in various countries across the world. So if it's easier, you may want to attend a fair that's happening in your country of residence. And then, of course, there are export promotion councils. In India, there are EPCs for most products being exported. They provide dedicated support to exporters. These councils act as a bridge between the government and the industry, helping exporters access global markets, help them participate in the trade fairs, and make them comply with export regulations. They maintain detailed databases of exporters and serve as a resource for any importer looking for reliable Indian suppliers. So it's a great idea to reach out to them to, connect with the suppliers of your specific product of interest. And all legitimate exporters are registered on them to avail the benefits, which means that you're going to be dealing with verified suppliers who are experienced in catering to global markets. All right, so we've covered what India is great for and where to find suppliers and how to get started, but let's just address the elephant in the room, the challenges. Sourcing from India does come with its challenges, and one of them is choosing a wrong supplier. Suppliers are so critical for any product-based business, and it's important that you invest in the right one. You need to verify the supplier before you invest a penny in them. And when you're sourcing, you don't want just any supplier. You need a manufacturer who is an experienced exporter, who has ideally exported to your country, holds compliance certificates, is located in the manufacturing hub of your product, and also specializes in your product. So firstly, you'll need to use the right sources that I shared earlier, and then you verify them further to ensure that they are suitable for your specific requirements. One supplier who is perfect for me may not be perfect for you. So you will need to reach out to a lot of different suppliers once you verify them and then see who is suitable for your specific requirements. Now, in order to verify any Indian supplier, you can easily look up their GST numbers online to check if they are export oriented and if they are manufacturers themselves. RCMC is another certificate that can help you verify that, and you can ask supplier to send their certificate across to you. You can also look at their product range. A very wide product range is an indicator that they may be outsourcing a few. So you must get answers to all of your queries before you start to work with the suppliers. Get their detailed profiles, their product catalogs, copies of certifications they hold, and ask about their quality control methods and processes before you go ahead. This whole process of finding suppliers is so critical, and it's actually one of the biggest roadblocks that I see most people, looking to source products from India face, and which is why at Sourcing with Kirti, we help you not only find legit certified suppliers, but we can also connect you to them. Okay, so now on to another challenge of sourcing from India, which is longer lead times. For any handmade or custom products, you can easily take 90 days or more into account to get your order ready, which is definitely longer than what you might be used to with China. So planning ahead is really important. You need to start your sourcing process at least 6 months before your launch date, so you have enough time to give to the supplier to avoid any firefighting in the end. And all repeat orders must also be placed in advance so you do not run out of stock. You must also have inbuilt buffers after the lead time is confirmed by the supplier. So if there's any unexpected issue, you still have the time to get them fixed. Also, with handmade products, one thing to keep in mind is that each piece will have a bit of variance. So do not expect pieces to be identical like mass-produced products. When dealing with suppliers, it's really important to stay in touch, have regular updates, as the suppliers do not really apprise you of issues until late. The good thing is most Indian suppliers speak English, which makes communication a whole lot easier, and WhatsApp is most commonly used in India. Stay in regular touch with the supplier, get on video calls. You can send them quick messages for an update. You check your samples over video calls, stay updated with the progress. So just placing the order or giving instruction to the supplier in India is not enough. You've got to be in touch with the supplier at all times. Now, on the logistics side, shipping from India is actually fairly straightforward. However, it is highly recommended that you manage shipping by hiring your own freight forwarder. Most goods from North India go out through Mumbai's Nhava Sheva port, and then there is also Mundra port. And usually sailing time is anywhere between 30 to 35 days, depending on where you're shipping. Then orders shipping out of South India, most commonly used ports are Chennai and Tuticorin port. Before I wrap up, let me quickly touch on the most common mistakes that people make when sourcing products. One is not starting with clear and detailed product specifications, and they end up wasting a lot of time going back and forth over wrong quotations, wrong sample development. So having a clear product specification sheet developed right at the start is very, very important, must be shared with the supplier so they know exactly what you want and they can provide you correct quotations and make the right sample in one go. Also, not defining quality parameters and just assuming that quality is supplier's responsibility is another common mistake. Now, setting clear quality standards right from the beginning is very, very important, and this is a very overlooked part that I see in people sourcing products. You need to send a detailed checklist to the suppliers about your requirements so everyone is on the same page. Always check samples, approve a pre-production and production sample for you and for the supplier to hold as reference. And there should be another sample for your quality inspector to hold as well. Get your product tested, get the test reports, hire a third-party inspection company to check your products during production or, at least before they ship. It's a small cost that could save you thousands down the line by catching any issues early. So to conclude, if you do not want to compete with thousands of sellers offering the same mass-produced products, India is your chance to stand out. You get beautiful handcrafted items, lower order quantities, and products with real stories that your customers will connect with. It's not just about sourcing, it's about building a brand that feels authentic, sustainable, and unique. And if this sounds like something you're ready to explore, start doing your research, reach out to vetted suppliers, consider attending trade shows that are happening in India or in your country of residence, or work with a sourcing agency that knows the ins and outs of India. Yes, sourcing from India is very different from China, but that's exactly why it's worth it. And as more and more buyers are shifting their focus to eco-friendly and artisan-made goods, sourcing from India is only going to become more valuable. Alright, that's it for today's episode. I hope this gave you some actionable insights. If you love this episode, share it with someone who's looking to source products from India. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. And if you have any questions, please send them my way. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening. I'll catch you in the next one. And as always, happy sourcing.